Hi, it's Kim with Simply Homespun. Welcome. It's been a while, about a month, I think, since I podcast and said I was going to podcast every 2 weeks. It didn't happen, but I'm here now. So I just want to welcome all returning viewers, and I welcome new viewers, and thank you for giving me a chance today. I'm broadcast. Whoops, bug. I'm broadcasting from my studio, which is in a little house, tiny house outside of my home. And my husband cut a Dutch door for me, and it looks out onto the lake. And I'll show you. Let's see. I don't know. I always watch podcasts and they're always over there and over there's this, and I always wish they would just get up and show me. So I'm going to show you. That's the view outside my double Dutch doors. Very peaceful and nice, and I love it. And I was able to get a lot of my yarns out and my fiber. I made a little carding. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Little carding station, and all my fiber is there. Well, so anyway, I still have a lot in totes, but that's okay. Uh, I love it. It's a nice getaway, a girl cave. So it's been fun. I have been really busy spinning dog hair, and that has not let up. And I know last time on podcast, I had a big span of time between podcasts, and it was because I had a lot of dog hair to spin. I still do, and I am loving it. Right now, I'm working on a Shih Tzu hair, and that hair, um, that's that's the hair that I'm spinning. So obviously, I couldn't spin that together by itself, so I carded it with some merino, and then I'm going to card. I did 4 skeins with it carded with merino, and then I have some black Shetland that I'm going to card the rest, 4 more skeins, and I don't think it'll be the rest of the hair, but because there's a lot of hair. But anyway, this, I don't know, you can see, but anyway, that's the hair, and I'm going to wash it, and then I'll stretch it and get some of that twist out when it dries, but it's very soft. It's very nice. And so I have four skeins of that, and and then I'll do four. I've got to card my Shetland and then card it with the Shih Tzu hair. So that's that. And I have had an inquiry about from a lady to spin her pet fox's hair. I'm excited about that. And I have golden retriever hair coming. And so that's what I've been doing. I have not done any shop updates in a while. Um, and am working. I need to, after I finish the Shih Tzu hair, do some yarn for my shop. But I have been selling my looms and reeds and things like that. But the yarn and all, I have not added anything new. So I need to do that too. But I am going to show you some works in progress. And just Grace, my daughter, is going to join me. Um, Grace is working on, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last podcast or not, but Grace is working on breaking the Guinness Book of World Records on the longest crochet chain. And sorry, I just moved all of that. Grace has surgery tomorrow at Vanderbilt. She has rods in her back, and she's getting those lengthened tomorrow. So we'll be at Vanderbilt tomorrow and Saturday, and hopefully come home Saturday. But anyway, where's your big ball? She is working on her chain, and she got put in the paper here in Crossville. We're in Crossville, Tennessee, by the way, and the weather is gorgeous today. I mean, beautiful. I just took my son. I met my dad in Cleveland, Tennessee, and we ate at the Cracker Barrel. It was great. And dropped him off with my dad, and he's going to stay with my dad while we're in the hospital. But here's what we have. So Grace has done so far. I don't even know how many yards this is. It's a,
no idea.
it's a lot. It's a
and
lot.
I'm looking at another
She's
one.
working on, and then what we're doing is when she finishes a skein, we're just tying it to the other skein. But I need to check on the biggest ball of yarn too. What's that record? But so anyway, the record is 80.8 miles, and it's held by Anna in France. And I think it's November 2014 is when she broke the record, or set the record. So anyway, Grace has a long way to go. I don't know if we have a mile here. Yeah, people have been giving us yarn. I mean, bags of yarn, and it's awesome because Grace really loves chaining. She's like really doing well on chaining. Yes, she is into chaining. So I tried to get her at the beginning of this to go like, okay, let's turn back and go back. You can make a blanket. I'll show you how to actually crochet. And she didn't want to. She wants to go for the record. So anyway, that's what she's going for, the record. So every podcast will show you how much she's done. And I need to probably, while it's still somewhat manageable, measure it and see if we have a mile's worth. I don't know. It's exciting.
Because my sister said it would go to here to her house because she lives in Murfreesboro and we live in Crossville.
Yes. So anyway,
I don't know.
I don't know. Really, I guess if we can get a mile's worth of yarn and I get an idea of how much that is, maybe we can separate it out into miles and then tie them all together at the end. I don't know, but really that'll be Guinness's issue to measure it. So there's that. I want to share some works in progress. I don't have any finished projects because I've not knit on anything for long periods. I've just been spinning dog hair, which I do love to do. But so while I was organizing my studio here, I found this project that I had started, and I lost it when we moved, and I found it, but I have not found the pattern. I hope I can still get it. It's a messenger bag, is what it's called. It's an interlock messenger bag, and
Mom,
I've done so it will go together like that. And you can stick your laptop or whatever in there, and then the sides and the strap. Where is? Oh, can you hand me that green yarn, Grace? Uh, this is Lion Brand's amazing yarn glasses. Amazing Arcadia colorway. Yes, yes, and it is what is it? It's 53% wool, 47% acrylic, but it's really nice. And so, and then I'm going to do the edges and the strap, you know, that light. Oh, this is like so bright. I don't know. Anyway, I tried shutting it and then it gets really dark. But so anyway, I'm gonna do this. This is eucalyptus colorway in Stitch Nation. Um, Stitch Nation by Debbie Lawler, and it is, I think, 3.5 ounces, 100 grams. It's 55% viscose from bamboo and 45% wool. So it's really soft. Um, anyway, I've had it a while, as you can tell, and it was just in a bag. But the pattern wasn't with it, so I don't know what's up with that. So hopefully, like I said, I can find the pattern. And the other thing is I hope I can, you know, with, I don't know how many of you have done interlac before, but it's like as long as you just keep working on it, it's fine. But when you put it down, and this has been put down for like a year, um, getting started again. I hope I can do that. I think I'm actually on where I'll pick up these stitches. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find the pattern. Or I don't even know. Oh, it's not in the round, so, or I mean, it is in the round, but right. Well, my working yarn's on the right needle. Yeah, so I would have to be this way. Anyway, see, that's my problem. That'll be my problem with that. I hope if anybody has any hints or clues, well, yeah, Kim, you just pick up. Can't you see that? You know, let me know. The other thing I have done some work on are these socks for Grace out of Opal, and I was doing the knit along, Be Happy make along, and yes, and it's Opal. It was my first Opal sock, and it was my first, and I don't have what it's called. It's Wildflowers and Honey. And I had a question. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry, Wildflowers and Honey. And I had a question on some of the direction uh, of the pattern, and so I emailed the pattern designer, and she emailed me right back. It was very good. So, and I don't have the cover, or I would tell you her name. But if you look up Wildflowers and Honey, you'll find it. And have, wait a minute, maybe it's here. I always keep my glasses on my head unless I wear my hair up in them. Olivia Villarreal. I probably did not say that right. It's Villarreal. Olivia. And so anyway, she had her email, and I emailed her, and she just got right back with me and made it all clear. So that was good. So anyway, um, so my first opal, and it was my first sock on the Hayas, and it's a 1.25 millimeter Haya circular. And so I've done the heel, and so I'm finishing that up, but you can kind of see the little bees. This was So Sweet Violets knit along. So obviously I didn't finish because that's over, but anyway, it's a fun sock. It's a sparkle. I don't think I have the tag. But I think in my last podcast I told you all about the opal yarn, but it's a sparkle base opal. And I will look and try to find, I think it's called Happy something. I don't know. I'm knitting, like I said, on the Haya Sharps, and I love it. After I finish these socks, I am going to do Mina's 2 at a time socks the way they should be done on these needles. And I'm going to order some more opal because I do love it. It's everything everybody said. So I'm not sure um, that the heel is exactly right, but you know, I'm not a sock knitter, so I don't know the heels, but I want to be. So then I still have my other socks I was working on that I've shown in all the other podcasts, and I've not made much progress on that. I almost ripped them out, or it, the one on the double points. Those socks, they're Mina's 2 at a time socks, but my circular I had a bump from the the cord. I don't know, the cord to the needle, and so I would have to flick each stitch 1 at a time to get it back onto the needle. And nightmare. So I took one off and put it on double points, and I'm almost done. I'm actually just starting the toe, and then I'll be finished. So I'm not ripping that out. I'm just going to do it. Um, and they're going to be for Grace too. We might could share. Grace and I now wear the same size shoe. It's amazing. She's so big. She's such a big girl, and she's only 10. She's going to be tall and beautiful. She already is beautiful, tall and beautiful. So, and then my dad's sweater is the other thing. The socks and the sweater are going with me to Vanderbilt, so I can work on those because I'll be there, and there I can't spin dog hair there. So, yep, she's taking her chain so she can share about that. But this is my dad's Irish clan sweater, and I finished the back, and this I've started. I got stuff everywhere. Okay, here we go. So this is the front of my dad's Irish clan sweater. I live in fear of it coming out. Can you see this? Okay, so that's the front. And I don't have a whole lot more to go, so dropped a stitch. So I have the front to finish and then the 2 sleeves and then just sew it all together. This is the back of my dad's sweater. Here. My dad, um, I hope he'll love it. Our it's our Joyce family pattern, and so I'm excited about finishing that. This has been in progress. If you've been following, you know this, but probably 5 or 6 years. It's a long story, but anyway, I'm gonna finish this year. I'm finishing it, and it's gonna be for my dad. And if I finish it before his birthday, and like, excuse me, I got some pollen probably. If I finish it, whenever I finish it, he's getting it because um, I'm not I'm not saving it for his birthday or Christmas or Hanukkah. I'm just going to give it to him, and whenever I'm done, and hopefully he'll go, oh, I love it, and put it on. They live in North Georgia, so it doesn't get really cold there. So I went from using wool um, to changing that to cotton. So it's 100% cotton. Um, I do. It's sugar and cream, Lily sugar and cream cotton, and it's a worsted. worsted weight yarn. And at first, it felt really hard, but then, and I'm like, oh no, it's not gonna be soft. But yeah, it is soft. I mean, it's really soft. So, and it won't be so hot. So I think he'll be able to wear it just fine. So those are my works in progress. One day I will have finished objects, but if I base the entire podcast on my finished objects or works in progress, like most knitting podcasts do. I won't podcast, but really once a month or once every 2 months or something bizarre. So we will see some progress in my dad's sweater for next time because I'm taking it, and I am going to work on those socks too at Vanderbilt. So we're only in there probably a total of 24 hours, but yeah, one overnight, Friday night. But so anyway, I'll have progress to show, and maybe I'll have a finished object with my socks. I don't know. And actually, I could take that other sock and finish it, so I'll have one sock to show. But I'll be getting the door blown shut, the front door. So that's what happened just now, and Grace just kind of faded into light. So we'll open that back up. Yes, it's staying open. So, what else is new, Grace? What else has been going on? We have been to Omaha to a wedding, and Grace was the flower girl, and that was a lot of fun.
And I was a little bit nervous, but I got over it. And they asked me to sit, but I stood up.
No, you could just sit. They were going to let you sit if you wanted, but you could stand. So she stood with the bridesmaids, and she did great. She did so much fun, so well, and it was a lot of fun.
And it was an hour.
Yeah, it was about
Yeah.
well, the wedding itself was about 30 minutes.
Yeah. And after it took like an hour, probably. I don't know.
Well, yeah, there was a little cocktail party after, and then a dinner. But it was fun, and we got to see our family.
Then they got to dance.
Yeah.
Which
there was dancing. We didn't stay.
Which we didn't stay because it was my bedtime. And
her preset. I don't make her have a bedtime, but she always goes to bed at 9 or 9:30 at the latest. And so when she's tired, she's done. She's done for the day. So anyway, she did fine.
I did. I got the wedding.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And my oldest daughter is getting married in April, and we went last Saturday and picked out her wedding dress, and I cried. It was so beautiful. And I can't post pictures because she doesn't want her fiance seeing her dress or her dad. She wants all of it to be a surprise. So, but it's oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
The last dress was cool.
Yes, it was so pretty. She's like, "How will I know which dress to pick?" And I told her, I said, "When you put the right one on, you'll know." And she tried on about 4 or 5, and then she came out in this dress, and she was just glowing. And I was like, "That's the one," And she's like, "I love this one." And so I said, "I told you you'd know." So anyway, she picked that out. So she already has her dress now. They actually measure for it in February because her wedding date's April 28th. So they'll measure her in February for it. But she has it paid for, and it's nice. So she's very smart and organized, unlike her mother. What is it? No, Grace got her hair cut.
Because I didn't like it like right here because it would just all go into my face, and I didn't like it so much. we decided to cut it. No, so on one podcast, we saw her hair and
It's Jenny from
yeah, Jenny.
used to be Tiny
Yeah.
Paper Foxes.
Yeah.
Handmade and Woolen, I think. Anyway, Jenny's hair.
Yeah, and I wanted that without the bangs, but mom chose it with the bangs. Yeah, like that. So mom forgot her phone, and it turned out like this.
We like it. Do you like it?
Yeah.
So anyway, well, next time we can get it like Jenny's. I'll print a picture. Or I can take my phone. So anyway, we don't have a whole lot more to talk about. I have there is. I was going to give you. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to talk about that now. I'll talk about that next podcast. It's a really cool blog. Um, hands free moms, I think is the name of it. But anyway, I'll put it on there. One funny thing did happen when we went to Omaha. We were staying with Jean's sister and her husband. And anyway, she was showing me this podcast she watches, and she goes, "It's the coolest person ever," and she does all this stuff, and so I looked, and I know this woman. She's in our homeschool group, or she was, and and so it's Patera. Hi, Patera. So anyway, it's her podcast. It's called Appalachian Homesteading, I think, on YouTube. I'll put a link. I'll find it and put a link on it. I'm like, yeah, I know her. She's like, oh, you know her? And I'm like, yes, I do. So it's funny how, um, when you're watching podcasts like Mina, I watch Mina Phillips, I watch Legacy Knits, I watch So Sweet Violet, and um, I watch the Tiny Paper Foxes, which is, I think, Handmade and Woolen. Um, and so, anyway, I watched several. And, I think if I saw these people, I would just be, look, there she is. She's famous. And really, podcasters are just normal people. But, it's, I said, well, Kim, her name's Kim. And I said, Kim, if you ever come to Crossville and visit, I'll hook you up with her and y'all can meet in person. She's like, you're kidding. So anyway, I thought that was funny because I knew her. Yeah, but but her podcast is good if you're into homesteading and chickens and I think I've mentioned Ninja Chickens before, but she's another one. She knits and does homesteading. And outside of Asheville, North Carolina, her podcast is really good. I like it because she does more than just the knitting. She'll do she'll do homemade teas, or I think on her last podcast she was like a tour of her herb garden, and it's just really beautiful where she lives, and she has these cool cats that are out in the garden, and so anyway, that's a good one, Ninja Chickens, if you're looking for a new podcast to watch. Um, and I'm not sure next next podcast we do. I am going to. I've got a lot of recipes that are quick, healthy desserts. And I thought I might share one of those with you. And also, I don't know about the next podcast, but soon, my son Ben, who's just 12, he is like a master griller. He just has a way on the grill of cooking perfect meat. And he smokes this pork butt, and it is awesome. I'm awesome. And I'm a barbecue connoisseur, and I'm telling you, that barbecue that he comes up with is oh, great. So he has his own made up rub and sauce. So I'm going to see if he will share that, and maybe we can like look at that roasting a butt because it's so good. And I know knitters eat too, so we might as well look at some things we can do on the grill, and then maybe I can show you a dessert that's really easy and healthy. We're trying to do away with sugar, white sugar here, because I've not had well, I have not. I've severely cut back on my white sugar. I'll say that because like I had, well, this I'm drinking is a sweet tea, but it's, well, that doesn't have white sugar in it. I made it with turbano sugar. So I feel like it's the bleach in the sugar that makes me not feel good when I eat sugar. And so I've been off sugar for about, or cut way back for, I don't know, a month. I still will eat ice cream. But, really, I could make my own ice cream. That's so easy. And just use honey. I have a great vanilla honey ice cream that I do. I would say recipe, but of course it's got to be a recipe because you just put ingredients. But I made it up, so I don't know I just dump, taste, dump, taste until I have it. But the only sweet in it is the honey, and it is really good. So I need, maybe we can do that too, because that's not hard. And you can do it even if you don't have an ice cream freezer. You can do it in the freezer. Just pour it into I poured mine into a casserole dish, but you just have to keep stirring it around, and so it doesn't freeze into a block of ice. So I just stirred it around, and then when it was soft serve consistency, that's when I served it. And it was really good that way. I have an ice cream freezer, but it is persnickety, and sometimes you have to sit there and have to hold the motor down so it will turn the canister. And yes, I have done that. So, yes, I realize I could buy another one. But, you just hate to, I don't know, I hate to rebuy something I have that does somewhat work. But sometimes it does okay, but then sometimes it just like will not spin it unless you hold it down. And I've tried putting books, but see the air vent for the motor is right on top of it, so like you can't like put a rock or something on it to hold it down because it would not be well. Okay, I'm getting a notice my battery's running low. So with all that being said, next time I'm going to try to have a finished object. We'll have progress on the sweater. We'll have progress on Grace's ball. I'll share with you the dog hair, and maybe I'll have that fox hair working then, and I can share that with you. And we'll look at the recipes and just chit chat and have fun. I'll if I come across some more good podcasts, I'll let you know. And I welcome your comments below too. I like that. So just if you have something to share, share it. And I may come up with a knit along for this summer for next time. But anyway, in the meantime, happy knitting. And you can, I didn't say this at the beginning, but I'll put below where all you can find me on the internet. But I will have show notes at some point at the bottom of this podcast. So anyway, you guys take care and happy knitting, and we will see you hopefully in a couple weeks. And Grace will be a little bit taller because her rods will be grown. So see ya. Bye.